There is this story about one young man, full of hope, love, and attention. He lives in a big city. Everywhere he goes, skyscrapers can be seen. He lives his life to the fullest with plenty of friends, caring parents, and more importantly, the love of his life. He wakes up every morning in his apartment. The first person he sees when he opens his eyes is his girlfriend. Such beauty, this creation of God, he said. He quickly opened the curtains and greeted with very beautiful scenery from his window. He dressed himself up and got ready for work. But before leaving, he cooked some eggs first, scrambled it and prepares it for him and his girlfriend. After having a breakfast, he quickly drives his car to work. On his way, the city where he lives in is already busy. Everyone minding their own problem, full of spirit and hope in their eyes. It's a perfect city with perfect citizens. After few minutes of driving, he arrived at his office. A big one. He is a businessman. It's a dream job for him, and he is good at it. He returned home at 6, feel tired but satisfied with his day. His girlfriend has been waiting for him, with food ready on the table. They eat together, laugh, and spent the rest of the night watching TV. The next day, he wakes up in his beautiful house. He sleep with his friends. One of them already awake not long before him. Then he doing his daily routine similar to yesterday. Take a shower, dressing up, breakfast, but now the food is for himself. After all has finished, and all of his friends awake and ready, then they go to the studio. The city still busy as usual. At the studio, they talking about new album. Write some notes and lyrics. Laughing, playing video games when they are tired, then write some notes again. His girlfriend called him and invite him to a date, then he says yes after his work's done. After that he spent the rest of the night with his girlfriend. The next day, he wakes up during the day, alone. He had a schedule, a very important one. He then quickly dressing up, and walked out of his room. He wore all black, elegant yet intimidating. He was hiding something behind his leather jacket. When he was walking on the sidewalk, a car stopped nearby. It was his friend. His friend picked him up, and he immediately got into the car. They talked about something, talking about plan and a person. Few minutes later, they arrived at a parking lot. They stop and spy something from afar. Not long after, someone got out of the car. He then quickly approached that person and pulled something underneath his leather jacket. A gun, equipped with silencer. Without waiting, he immediately shot the man to death. He is an assassin. The next day, he wakes up again, in a house that barely standing, doing the same routine, but live in a dystopian world, where everything is a rubble. Empty ruined building everywhere. A post-apocalyptic event that almost lead humanity to extinction. The next day, he wakes up again in a manner, doing the same routine as yesterday. The next day, he wakes up again in a treehouse, doing the same routine. The next day, 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 the next day. The next day, he woke up in the back alley. Next to him was a trash can. In front of him was a leftover joint. This time, he was not doing his daily routine as he used to do because in fact, there is nothing to do in the first place. This time, he is sober enough to know that he is in reality. He is nothing but an outcast, a forgotten, a failure. He was born to a poor family. Although he was once a brilliant, untainted, and innocent child, with a fire in his heart, he is now just a man who almost loses the grasp of his sanity. Reality and fantasy become blurred. Every day, he wished to be somebody else other than him, someone with better life and better story. but reality is often disappointing until finally he was very tired of reality and said, he then start diving into his abyssal pit of fantasy and become addicted to it. This isn't a story about musician, a successful businessman, an assassin, freedom fighter, or anything. This is a story of a broken man, with his severe maladaptive daydreaming.